Morning, Knicks Nation. Today is Monday. It is the 27th day of November 2023. I hope you're safe and healthy today and that your family is safe and healthy and that the needs of you and your family in terms of food, shelter, clothing, as well as health are being met today. Blessings upon those that work in the healthcare field, who along with the first responders are every day saving lives. And those that pick up garbage to keep our streets and cities and villages and towns clean and disease free, and those also that make deliveries of important things from Amazon, from UPS, from FedEx, from the U.S. Postal Service for our convenience. Double blessings on the men and women that are out here trying to help rescue, deliver, and recover teenagers and children that are the victims of child molestation and pedophilia. People who are also victims of pornography and child pornography. People that are victims of prostitution and child prostitution, human trafficking and sex slavery. Double curses on the perpetrators of these nasty things. Double curses on the profiteers of these things. Double curses on the perverts that create the industries for these things. Finally, blessings upon the homeless. There are nearly 600,000 men, women, and children homeless in the United States of America, and millions around the world in similar or worse conditions. And blessings upon them, for theirs is the kingdom. What a game at Madison Square. It was a basketball game last night in Madison Square Garden. What a game. Phoenix Suns beat the New York Knicks 116 to 113 on basically a Hail Mary shot from Devin Booker. But the game, obviously when you see the end result, you see, okay, the Knicks lost this game. But there's always the game within the game, and this one was very clear. The Knicks averaged 47 rebounds a game. They averaged 14 offensive rebounds a game. Last night, the Knicks got a total of 38 rebounds and 13 offensive rebounds, which is not bad, but that's below the standard that the Knicks have set this season. Whereas Phoenix got 47 rebounds and they had 18 offensive rebounds. There's your ball game. There's your ball game right there. In the first three quarters. Now, the first quarter, Q-Dog did, like I said to you, he did as good a job on a guy like Devin Booker as you're going to get done. I mean, Devin Booker was 10 of 25, 1 of 4 from 3, 28 points. He had 11 assists because he was looking for the open man because he was being blanketed and they were doubling him. And so he was looking for the open man. And so you had, in the beginning, you had a guy like an Eric Gordon who ended up with 25 points. Oh, he used to be, one of those dudes in the league. He's going to be 35. He's way past his prime, long in the tooth, but he can still shoot it. And he was 6 of 9 from 3. And although that seemed to be hurting us, that wasn't the ball game. The ball game was on the boards. They were getting second and third opportunities. You cannot give an NBA team, any NBA team, 2 and 3 opportunities at a basket. They're going to get one of them, okay? That's the league. And so that was the game. But even though they were doing that, and the Knicks, the Knicks were a step slow on 50-50 balls last night. You should see it. They were just a step slow. Now, Mitchell Robinson, he got his 11 boards. He got 5 on the offensive end. He did his thing. But nobody else was there. Nobody else was there. Hart usually gets you 7, 8 boards. He had 3. Hartenstein usually gets you 9, 10 boards, 8 boards. He had 5 total. Juju usually gets you 10. He's a 20-10 guy. He had 5 total. Nobody else was hitting boards but Mitch Rob. And they all seemed a step slow. It wasn't just like getting rebounds and for the sake of rebound. It was 50-50 balls where the ball was loose, where you had to hustle to get it. And the Knicks were a step slow last night, just period. But even that being the case, watching the game, I was very confident they were going to make a run. First of all, of 30 NBA teams, all 30, during the course of a game, will make a run. It just is part of the league. So I knew the Knicks were going to make a run. They kept making mini runs, and then Phoenix kept pushing back. But I knew they were going to make a run, especially when you got a IQ, and you got a Jalen Brunson, and you got a Juju. It was especially, I was very confident in the end of the third, beginning of the fourth, because in the beginning of the game, Drew, and that's what I'm saying, his game has matured in that he's not forcing as many shots as he used to. He's letting the game come to him. Now, he was 10 of 21 also, and 1 of 3 from the three-point line. But if you were watching the game, at the end of the third and into the fourth, it was very simple. He was simply overwhelming anybody that Phoenix threw at him. He was simply overwhelming them. And the Knicks were doing a great job getting him the ball in one-on-one situations. And like I said, there's very few players in the league that can guard Julius Randle from the 4 spot one-on-one. There's very few. You have to double him. And so most of the time they were doing that, he only had 2 turnovers last night. He had 2 turnovers and 2 assists. So he wasn't really, spraying it out like he should. But he was picking his spots. And in the fourth quarter, in the third quarter, it was beautiful to watch. He was overwhelming the Phoenix Suns. So they started making their run. And then, of course, here come Brunson. Brunson was doing his thing. He ended up with 35. Here come IQ. IQ was doing his thing. He ended up with 18. This is where they were making their run. And so what really was amazing, too, to me, on the Knicks side, you see, some of y'all are like husbands that beat up their wives. The Knicks are your wife, and you're always blaming her, and you want to beat her up. There's dudes like that, unfortunately. So every loss, you want to beat up everybody. But no, you got to look at the positive. What I liked, if you all noticed, which I'm sure a lot of you did, at the end of the fourth quarter, when the Knicks were really pushing it, R.J. Barrett was guarding Devin Booker. And he was doing a good job. He was doing a hell of a job, okay? And in fact, when they took Booker out in the fourth, that's when the Knicks started making their run, even with Eric Gordon in there. And so I was like, okay, we're doing this. Then it was 113 all, and I was very confident that this game was going into overtime. I think it was maybe 8 seconds left, and it was 13 all. No, they had the final possession with 18 seconds left. And I said, okay, we just need to stop here, and we're going into overtime. And when I saw Devin take that shot, I was very confident it was not going to go in because he was leaning back. He had Juju and RJ on him, and he was leaning back, going out of bounds. And when it went through the net, I was like, probably some of y'all, I was stunned. And I was like, okay, what you going to... And Drew said it right at the end of the game. And listen, that was a tough shot. He hit a tough shot. You got to pat him on the butt and say, okay, good shot. Because there's nothing you can do about that. Okay? So it was a tremendous game. The only, the critical would be the boards. And I'm sure, I am 100% positive that Tom Thibodeau is going to let them know about that. Because there was a step. So let's just hustle. And there's no excuse there. Because the Knicks, you got a Josh Hart. You got an Isaiah Hartenstein. You did see a quickly dive on the floor and get the ball at one point in the game. But overall, the Knicks were a step slow. And that's what the problem was. They just were getting out hustled. And even the Knicks say that. I mean, they interviewed the players after the game. I forgot a couple of them said they just outworked us. And listen, that you got to give Frank Vogel credit because that was the game plan. See, we can expect this going forward. This is what we can expect, y'all. As the number 1 or number 2 rebounding team in the league, the report is out now. You got to hustle when you come to play New York. You got to come your A game. You got to crash the boards. Everybody's going to be doing it now. And that's okay. The Knicks still, with Mitchell Robinson and the crew we got, I'm very confident even with that. But the Knicks have to be cognizant that their opponents know that. And they're going to be coming at you. Okay? And again, another learning experience. This is good. This is good because they learned this is, hey, they're going to come at you. Okay, now you're pushing toward becoming one of the best teams in the league. You're going to be top 10 in the league. The Knicks are. And so people are going to be pushing at them. They already figured out, okay, listen, we can attack Juju with double teams. And Juju done counted and said, no, I'm gonna take my time. I'm going to pick my spots. And then I'm going to overwhelm you when I get one-on-one situations. They can't do nothing with Jalen Brunson. And RJ had a bad shooting game last night. I told y'all, when a guy puts a lot of effort on the defensive end, it's going to hurt you on the offensive end. So he was 3 of 11, 0 for 2 from 3. He was still 3 or 4 from the line. but he only had 9 points. And that's because he was really focusing, when they took out Grimes, he was really focusing on guarding Booker and guarding Gordon. He was really focusing on that. And that's going to hurt you offensively. But he's going to have to go to that next level. He's now taking that step. So we need him to play that level of defense, and we need him to shoot the ball. But that's why you want to grind, because you give RJ a little bit of a break, and you get more offense from him. But last night he was 3 of 11. And I got to give it to Phoenix. I mean, look, they had won 6 straight. We talked about that coming into the game yesterday's podcast. I told y'all they won 6 straight. They ain't no chumps, man. They were playing defense now, and they 6 straight wins. When you're winning like that, you find ways to win. You find ways to win because you don't want to break your streak. Okay, so RJ had a subpar offensive game, but it's going to happen. Okay, it's going to happen. It's all right. Okay, but overall, the Knicks have to be prepared. Teams are going to come at them on the boards because the Knicks will overwhelm you, which they will, which they have been doing, and I'm telling you, they're going to continue to do on the boards. Okay, but last night they was a step slow. Phoenix was hungry, and they came out looking hungry. They came out trying to win this game. They had, they had nobodies scoring on the Knicks. I mean, they had nobodies. This dude, Okogie, who Tom Thibodeau actually drafted. Tom Thibodeau actually drafted Okogie. You had him. You had Nurkic. He had 3 points. Nurkic had 8. But you had guys like Diop. He hit, he was hitting shots that he shouldn't hit. And made 2. And he hit 2 3-pointers. And with Goodwin hit 2 3-pointers. These are scrubs. But you know what? That's what happens when you're on the winning streak. Scrubs start to step up. Okay? And so, no, they didn't have KD last night. But they did have Booker, they had Gordon, they had a 6-game winning streak, and they now it's 7. Okay, so now the Knicks got to move on. Time to move on. Some of y'all don't want to beat somebody up. Don't beat nobody up. It's time to move on. Take your hands off your wife. Chill out. We move forward. All right. So the next game, Charlotte, tomorrow night at the Garden. We do need this win. Okay, we do need this win. Every win's important. Okay, every win's important. Because now we're getting to the point, this is 16 games. Like I said, get the 20-game point. You want to start getting, and the Knicks are starting to get in the flow. They are. The loss notwithstanding. Hey, listen, if you watch the game, that could have went either way. Even with them overwhelming us on the boards, it could have went either way at the end. Homie hit a shot. That's what happens when you win 6 straight. You get shots like that. So next is Charlotte. We move on to Charlotte. And, hey, let's see what we can get done here. Y'all enjoy the rest of your day. Don't let this get you too down. We'll be all right. No need for anything. I don't want to hear no calls about we need a strong, big, tall dude. We need another forward, all this BS. We good. We just need to move forward, get this next win. Y'all enjoy your Monday. Shalom.